the greatest ad campaign since time began was 1947. Something that's like from a James Bond movie, a diamond is forever. Forget about it. Things have changed. It's a surveillance slogan. We may never get married. How desperate is De Beers to sell diamonds to people that aren't going to have a diamond forever? I love the phrase, we may never get married.
Tom, you're absolutely right. The modern consumer is a different consumer,
yes,
and that's reflected very much in our advertising campaigns. But there is still strong demand for our product, for diamonds, and for everything that they represent in terms of marking those rare and timeless moments. And that's reflected in our financial results for 2017, with revenues of $5.8 billion, absolutely built on that continuing strong consumer demand.
I'm sure we want to get to questions on South Africa and the Botswana ownership that you have. How much does De Beers control the industry? Going back to the Oppenheimer family, there was a lot of U.S. litigation on this, and that De Beers controlled the gem, the jewel, the stone. Is that still the case, or is supply more diverse than it used to be?
Supply is absolutely more diverse than it used to be, but we still maintain an important and critical leadership position in the market. So by value, De Beers accounts for around about 30 to 35% of the market. But in terms of influence, if you think about what we do in market development, whether that's marketing the category or whether that is investing in new initiatives such as our blockchain initiative, driving standards in ethical production, all of these things are hallmarks of leadership that De Beers is absolutely pushing forward.
I'm looking at prices of polished diamonds, Tom. It's really no hardship today on Bloomberg Surveillance, but this is the chart, and we brought it back to 2012. So actually, the prices have been pretty rough. Is there any sign of a recovery? What can you try and do to improve these prices for polished diamonds?
Well, that's absolutely an area of focus for us, Francine, because you're right, polished prices have been challenged over the last few years. And really, the best thing we can do to help push polished prices is to continue to drive consumer demand. And so Tom talked about our advertising campaigns. Through our brands, De Beers Jewelers, through Forevermark, we've embraced the new consumer. That means a lot more self-purchase from women, independent women with their own careers, buying for themselves. It means making sure that people continue to mark the important moments in their lives, the emotional moments in their lives with diamond purchases. And through continuing to drive that consumer demand, we will hopefully see those polished prices move. And of course, in 17, we did see a growth in consumer demand, which was really pleasing on the back of a decline in 15 and flat 16.
Can you raise rough diamond prices without it impacting polished diamond prices?
The two are linked, so they don't have a clear linear relationship, but over time what we need to make sure is that our partners in the midstream of the industry, those that cut and polish and those that manufacture jewellery, are also able to earn sensible returns. And that means that ultimately all of our fortunes as an industry are linked to driving polished prices, and rough prices ultimately follow polished prices.
Mr. Patel, a delicate question, and I'm going to give you a charitable open question to get some insight here on South Africa and the ageless De Beers relationship with the politics, really back to the Boer War. What do you need from the ANC? What do you need from the politicians to provide stability for business in South Africa?
Well, I think you've just highlighted exactly what we need, which is stability of regulation. And that's why we're engaged with government through the Chamber of Mines, in which we participate around what's called Mining Charter 3. But let's remember, we're investing very heavily in South Africa. We've got a project underway at Venetia, the Venetia Underground project, moving from our open pit operations to the underground, which is a commitment of over $2 billion in the mining industry for South Africa, with a real positive impact on local communities and on the local economy.
Not that I know anything about gemstones on Fifth Avenue, but I'll go with it right here, Mr. Patel. You can't find a decent ruby in New York City unless you've got truly the wealth of a Raj from another time and place. Are diamonds going to end up where rubies are because of the worry about labor abuse, where you can't find a decent diamond, like now you can't find a decent ruby?
No, absolutely not, because of the work that we've done together with the industry in driving ethical best practice, in making sure that we set up and continue to fight for the Kimberley process, and how important that is in proving to all of our consumers that we live their values, that our diamonds are ethically sourced, and that our products are natural, and that they are highly valuable, and that people can be proud to wear them.
De Beers today said you plan to mine as many as 36 million carats this year. That would be the most since 2008. What gives you the confidence that actually you'll find so many carats?
So in 2016, we mined 27.3 million carats, and in 17, we were up 22% at 33.5 million carats. And a large part of that was the commissioning and ramp-up of our new mine in Canada, the Gaucho Kué mine. Going forward, there is additional potential through our mining business in Botswana to continue to drive production. And beyond that, we've got efficiencies in other of our operations. The most important thing when we look at production going forward is to make sure that it is matched by demand.
And does it affect your ability to raise prices if there's too many of them?
What really is going to drive our ability to raise prices is that polished price that we talked about earlier.